Okay, I know you guys were expecting to see Philip Bellinger, Randy G from the EPA come here and discuss the Mercury spill. And so they were detained and not able to come here. So I'm just going to kind of get started and you can hold it down a little bit. I'll get through this and we'll close out with a prayer. The Mercury spill continues to be. I'll just wait till you guys are done. Yeah, sure. Okay. The Mercury spill continues to impact Pawhuska drinking water intake. And Pawhuska, you know, there's 3,500 people impacted by this. So anyway, we're hoping to get this resolved, and we're not really seeing a lot of help from the BIA in that area. The EPA took the lead on this disaster, and it's taken it's gone to the worldwide news. And anyway, the total salts originally were found right below a bridge at 80,000 parts per million of salinity. And that's moved a half mile downstream, and right now the readings are less than 40,000 parts per million, but they're still a little high for drinking water, livestock, you know, animals, fish. So anyway, since it started at a bridge, they thought somebody just dumped a load of salt water in there. And but in the meantime, the EPA started checking the flows and the salinity. They issued an administrative order asking the operators would they please take some precautions. There's 3 operators involved, 6 are located in the area with production. And when the wells were shut in, this is kind of interesting, they actually shut some wells in, and prior to that there was a pulsating effect, almost like a 3-plunger pump pumping into the creek. And when one well was shut in, an injection well, it wouldn't pass MIT, the salinity dropped. And so they're trying to plug that well. It's got junk in the hole, the casing, tubing's bent over. So they're still in the process of trying to get to the bottom of that well and plug it. The readings are real similar to the Mississippi, and the water temperatures were elevated, which could be, you know, maybe it was a hot summer day that day, I don't know. It's still, temperatures are still elevated. Anyway, that's about it. Right now, we know it's impacted. They're still gathering data. There's an administrative order has been issued, and we're going from there. I'm still trying to get digitized logs in area so we can fully map every formation that's been impacted here and actually figure out, is this coming from the Mississippi? Is there a conduit through a mud plug well? There's so many open well bores that haven't been plugged out there, it could be through one of those also. But we're going to need to get fluid levels on quite a few. And anyway, with that Bird Creek update, I just wanted to tell the lessees that are here that I'm glad you guys came. Appreciate you coming to Lease Sale. Appreciate everything that you do, fighting a good fight, and that you're still sticking with us at the Osage. I just want to let you know that we are trying to open the Osage Agency back up for business. I mean, that's one of our goals. We're also trying to fight to take the American anyway, take the take the Freedom of Information Act out of real estate agency. We're still the only place in the United States that you can't look at well information. And that's completion reports, that's public information everywhere except the Osage agency plus it. Flagging reports, workovers. And the other thing that is on my list, number 4, is to try to get this permit that used to be a one-page 139, Osage 139 form. And now it's a 500-page data mining project for you just to get a well drilled. And one operator spent $70,000 trying to permit 2 wells in Osage. He permitted several, but they even turned down, I think, 5 wells because of American Barium Beetle. And so anyway, we have the preemptive rights to permit oil wells to be drilled on the reservation. But anyhow, we'll get this changed. And so, my friend over here on the Bird Creek.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, Warren American is one of the operators that have been impacted by the administrative order. And then we have submitted to the public a report by Todd Associates who work with now reservoir engineers that is impossible for pressure from the Mississippi to have lifted fluid to the surface. And that's available for the public for your review. And we also submitted a report from Dr. Gary Sublett, PhD, from the University of Tulsa Environmental Engineering. And he said that what they had observed in this creek is entirely consistent with a single discharge and carried the salinity downstream in a stratified manner. The original area was 80,000 parts per million, is now less than 500 parts per million. The one spot that is 40,000 parts per million, if you go roughly 20 feet on either side of that, it's down to less than 1,000.
90% of the pressure drops within 10 feet.
Yeah, and so, you know, we don't know exactly where these single discharges came from, but we are working with, even though this is not on our lease, we're working with the Bass Brothers Association and the Chapel to try to drain that one very limited spot, a deep spot where the salinity is still at 40,000 parts per million. Actually, less than 35. It is falling completely up and down the creek already with no help. Unfortunately, it should have been drained day 1 a year ago, and then it would have just been a single incident that would have been quickly resolved. Instead, we've been monitoring salinity and temperature. The temperature, Dr. Sublett also says, is completely consistent with solar climbing. It has nothing to do with Mississippi waters. It's to be impossible for that to be the case. So, just to let you know that, I mean, we have submitted this to the public and to the EPA. And,
Sure. Yeah, we'd like to get a copy of that too.
Well, I think if it's in the public, you should be able to get it from the EPA, but we'll also.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
We'll be glad to send it to you.
Well, that's good news. I know you guys tried to empty the creek to begin with, but there was kind of a worry about committing guilt, or maybe the landowner wasn't too happy with it.
You know, it's because it was on nobody's lease, it was just handled in a different way.
Right.
And whereas, I mean, we get leaks on our own lease, and we work with the EPA and the tribe to clean them up all the time, and we are anxious to do so.
Yeah, the problem is that the leak is not on Warren American lease or our lease.
Right, yeah.